In 1966, I went for a holiday on the island of Alderney. I went with a fellow student. Alderney is the northernmost of the Channel Islands. Here you can see a more detailed view of Alderney. It was my first ever flight, and we flew on a de Havilland Heron from Gatwick. We were soon climbing above the Surrey countryside. It was 1974 before this area became West Sussex. Later we approached the Alderney airport from the eastern side of the island. You can see a Victorian fort on that tiny little islet. And we're almost there. We had flown to Alderney on this de Havilland Heron, and you can see the crew and some of the other passengers. We were staying in this converted World War II bunker near Fort Albert. It had bunk beds and colour gas cooking, and great views across Bray Bay. I think you needed to be quite agile on the walk to the bunker. Here are a couple of other views from the vicinity of the bunker. These pictures were looking across Say Bay to Chateau Letoc. This photo was probably taken at a place called The Buttes. Okay, these pictures are not great, but it was 1966 film technology, although it was probably a poor effort by me. On a slightly foggy day, we descended down some cliffs to Telegraph Bay. I took a few photos around the cave down there. I think this area is no longer accessible these days. Not sure where this is, but I think it's the beach at Clonk Bay. One day we went out on a boat owned by Mr. Jolyon. We were mackerel fishing, which seemed pretty easy. I also took some photos from the boat, one of which was the bunker that we were staying in. You can see our bunker on the headland just below Fort Albert. We got to take some mackerel back to the bunker and have some fresh fish for tea. This was Victoria Street in the main town of St Anne's. I climbed the telecommunications tower and then took some photos from the top. This photo shows the receiving dishes for the TV relay on the island. Looking across Bray Bay, the view to the east. This is Manners Lighthouse, and it was still fully operational back in 1966. Part of the lighthouse mirror and also the foghorn pump. Another view across Bray Bay to the breakwater. The inner harbour at Bray, and you can just see the steam crane working on the breakwater in the background. The steam crane in operation. The breakwater maintenance team let me take this picture. We managed a bit of sunbathing on our last day in Alderney. A foggy day meant that the aircraft we were due to depart on could not land. We could hear it circling overhead. The next day the fog had cleared, and after they cleared the cattle away from the runway, our aircraft could land, and soon after we were on our way back to Gatwick. I had really enjoyed this holiday, so much so that I went back 30 years later with my children so that they could experience the sights of Alderney as well.